side of the Middle East, the Arab side, hasn't been a pattern in your foreign policy. What does it mean now?
No, actually, right from the anti-colonial struggle, we were working with Arabs, Gamal Abdel Nasser, King Muhammad V of Morocco, Ben Bera, Boumediene, later on Muammar Gaddafi. These are the Arabs we are dealing with in the anti-colonial struggle. Now, we had links with Saudi Arabia through the people who go to Mecca. But after our struggles, we heard about Dubai. Dubai had become like an entrepot.
But since 1994, Mr. President, you have shifted to the Israeli side and you have strengthened your ties with the Israelis and made your economic and political deals with the Israelis rather than with the Arabs.
That's not true. Yes, we established diplomatic relations with Israel, but we did not abandon our position on...
in terms of economic cooperation?
Not only economic cooperation, even diplomatic. Our stand is principled, because originally we did not have relations with Israel, because Israel refused to recognize the right of the Palestinians. However, when there was agreement on the two-state solution, then we started working with Israel. We don't have much economic dealings with Israel. We have dealings on security side, military equipment and things like that. But we buy, we pay. It is not aid or anything.
For the time being, could you tell us something about your present visit and what type of cooperation you are seeking in this during this visit?
We have now Gulf Airlines started coming to Uganda. Gulf Air, Qatari Airways, some other airlines, have forgotten their names. There are a number of them. They come. So, building on that, then we started getting contacts with the Qataris, and that's how I came here. So it's not a new shift. It is maybe addition to what we were doing already.
Before leaving the Middle East, last July, when Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu visited you in Entebbe and you were speaking in his presence, you used the word Palestine several times instead of Israel. And according to the news and the reports, he was very angry. Did you mean that? Did you mean it? And was there a message in it to the Israelis and the Arabs?
You see, for us, as far as this part of the world is concerned, we are guided by the Bible. We read the Bible. I'm not the one who wrote the Bible. The Bible was written, I don't know, by the people who wrote it. So all you people are mentioned there.
So you stand by your words?
Yes.
That it is Palestine, not Israel?
The Philistines are mentioned. Judah is mentioned. Israel is mentioned. You are all there. Ibrahim is mentioned.
So you stand by it?
Yes, of course.
It upset the Israelis?
No, I don't know. They didn't tell me. They didn't tell me, and I wouldn't go from the facts to please people.
When you were a rebel leader, freedom fighter, you said once that you would never have ties with Israel as long as the Palestinians are homeless. But now you have ties with Israel for about 20 years. The Palestinians are still homeless.
No, the point was that at that time, Israel had not recognized the Palestinians. Once they did that, then we really didn't have any good reason. Because also we don't agree with the other extremism on the Arab side, who are saying that Israel does not belong to the Middle East. I remember when I went to Iran, I talked with those people there, that position of theirs we could not agree because it is in the Bible. For us, we follow the Bible. Israel is there. Philistines, people call Philistines, a man called Goliath.
Yeah, so is it now Palestine or Israel?
It is both, because they were all there. It is both. Because remember, David fought with Goliath. The one was a Philistine, the other one was, which I suspect Philistine must have something to do with Palestine. The word sounds...
During more than 3 decades, there must be something that you are very proud of to boast.
You mean
or there must be something that is very concerning to you about the way you ruled Uganda.
Our achievements and so on.
Yes.
You see, Africa, including Uganda, are very rich countries. They have got a lot of natural resources. They are ancient societies with a very old civilization. But the problem has been the organization of the society. The society was organized in a pre-capitalist way, traditional way.
So, President, can we talk about the achievements you have done for Uganda in the last 3 decades?
That's what I'm coming to. Yeah. Because the issue was to transform a traditional pre-industrial society to the modern era. And I can tell you that we have achieved a lot. We have, first of all, modern education. As I speak today, population of Uganda is like 40 million. More than 25% of them are in schools. Primary schools, secondary schools, universities. Through universal education. On the side of health, that's how the population has jumped from 14 million in 1986 to now 40 million.
Uganda is still one of the poorest countries in the world. Uganda still has tremendous problems in terms of infrastructure, sanitation, health issues. All of this is still there.
Yeah, they are still there, but we have moved a long way. A long way.
How much more time you need after 31 years to finish off this job and to transform Uganda?
Let's first talk about the mileage covered. The kilometers of roads we have covered for tarmacking are now approaching 6,000 kilometers from about 800. For the first time, we have got surplus electricity. The telephones, these small phones.
So, President, these are relative figures, and we can talk also about the other side, the empty side of the cup. We still have almost a fifth of the population under the poverty line. We still have, as I said, homelessness in Uganda. We still have a lot of lack of sanitation and infrastructure. But let's move forward from this.
No, but before we leave that, the people under poverty in 1990 were 56%. The ones now under poverty are 19%. Yes, that's 1/5, but we have covered the 4/5. So if your mathematics is working well, then it should help you.
I hope Uganda has done similar progress on other fronts. Let's talk about the political side, the freedoms. Human Rights Watch, in its latest report, criticized Uganda's government's dealings in terms of human rights, suppression of free speech, putting dissidents in jail. We have the case of Stella Nyazi, who is still in jail because she just expressed herself. And we have the opposition leader who has been in jail several times. And we have the government cracking down on opponents and preventing people from rallying freely. By law, more than 5 people should have the consent and the agreement of the police before they can express themselves in the street.
Uganda is one of the most democratic countries in the world. In terms of free speech, we have something like 250 private radios. which say whatever they want. We have so many television stations, private. I don't know how many you have here in Qatar, private ones. I don't know, you could tell me. I only see Al Jazeera, but for us we have so many. The empowerment of women, we've got many women compared to so many countries in leadership.
Why is activist Stella Niazi in jail just because she expressed herself?
Well, if you are an activist and you commit an offense, because rights, to enjoy rights, you must also respect the rights of others. You cannot trample on the rights of others and you say it is my right to abuse other people, to insult other people. No. Rights go with responsibilities, if you know anything about democracy.
Why was the opposition leader Kizza Besigye put in jail several times during the time of the elections?
Because he broke some laws.
Like what?
For instance, in order to have elections, you must have a regulator, the election commissioner, who says now this political party, it is your time to hold the rally here. You there, tomorrow here. Now, if you don't follow that, you will have chaos. And we cannot allow chaos. Just because you are pretending to be a political leader, you must follow order.
More than just jail and cracking down on dissent, we have even bloodshed in Uganda.
The what?
Bloodshed.
Bloodshed?
Yes, in western Uganda. In Rwenzururu area.
Rwenzori?
Yes, just a few months ago, more than 100 people were killed by security forces who attacked a traditional cultural kingdom in the area, saying that that place has terrorists inside it.
Yes.
What do you say to this? Terrorists?
That issue is in court, and according to our law, when something is in court, I'm not allowed to comment. The court will tell us whether those people were arrested for nothing or not.
We're talking about those who were killed, not those who are now in court.
Yes, even the ones who were killed, whether they were killed for no reason, we shall find out from the court, because it is in the court now. There is, we call it a principle of sub judice. Because if I start saying they were wrong, they were this, giving the reasons, then I'm interfering with the court.
Yeah, but with the international
what I can tell you is that since the matter is in the court, you bring all your cameras, come to the court, and film what those people are saying. You will get the facts.
Yes.
I invite you.
But we here and our audience, in the international audience of Al Jazeera, we don't know what happened. We're not going to be in the court to see it. We want you, Mr. President, to explain to us why you sent your troops to that area, to Kasese, to kill more than 100 people.
Because they were breaking the law, they were making...
In what manner? In what manner? They were...
That will come in the court.
They were just guarding the palace and they didn't even have weapons, according to the reports.
First of all, the kings in Uganda, we have got many kings. They are not guarded by militias. They are guarded by the national...
Just because he is guarded, you think that's dissent?
Well, I'm just giving you facts. Kings are guarded by the national army, not by a militia. So if you say there was a militia guarding, then already you're getting yourself...
But they're not armed. They have machetes. They just wanted to protect the palace.
Those facts will come in the court. The court is open. You are most welcome.
According to the reports we have, the king was persecuted and those people were killed because they opposed the president in the election, because they are not pro the ruling government.
Not at all. There are so many, and if they opposed the president, what were the militia doing? What were the militia doing? Do political parties have militias? According to what you hear in a democracy.
If a militia is not armed and if it is not killing people, then what's the problem, Mr. President?
Where you come to the court, you would hear why those people were...
The man who led the assault on Kasese, his name is Peter Elwelu, he was a brigadier in the army at the time. And instead of him being now in the court, he was promoted general and he is now the commander of the land forces. Yes. Why, if you have those people in the court, why don't you also have the man who opened fire on your citizens alongside those people in the court now to answer to the questions of the judge?
That means he was doing his duty?
Duty to kill?
To
He killed more than 100 people.
To deal with...
And now he's promoted.
Yes, I am the one who promoted him.
And 2 days ago, the U.S. government refused. They blocked his going to Malawi to attend a conference on security because of that.
I don't know about the United States. Uganda is big enough for Major General Erweru to operate there. I don't know why he's dying to go to the United States. But
no, he's not going. He was going to Malawi and he was blocked by the Americans because they are supervising that conference because of what he did in Kasese. So he's accused.
Well, I am not a prefect about American actions. I am a leader of Uganda, and I'm telling you that Erweru did his duty, and there is now peace in that area.
So it was pacified.
It was
because it was crushed.
It was definitely justified, but all this will come in the court.
So, President, it seems that Ugandans are a little bit fed up with you because we are reading a lot of reports about this Facebook revolution, people trying to go to the streets even though they are prevented, they are afraid, of course, of the security forces, but they want to create something like, the Arab Spring in Uganda. People are fed up because it's more than 3 decades of your leadership, and term after term after term, it's only one man ruling the country, and the world around Uganda has changed. All presidents around Uganda have gone, but you. So do you agree with me that there is a little bit of fatigue of your leadership?
Have you heard of something called democracy? Have you heard of it?
I heard of it.
Democracy means you elect the people you like. We had elections about 1 year ago, and my party got 62% of the vote. And in fact, it would have been more if it was not for quite a bit of spoiled votes. So that does not show that the people of Uganda are fed up of our party because they have voted for us 5 times, winning free competition. So if you think that the majority of Ugandans are fed up of the NRM, then the vote doesn't show that.
Electing you 5 times doesn't mean that the election was fair and free. And that's what the opposition says. The opposition says you were elected 5 times because you're in control, you're in the government, and you control the military, and you can easily manipulate the elections.
So why did we lose some districts in the elections?
Why did you what?
Why did we lose elections in some districts?
Oh, but that's just to justify, to make it look like a real democracy. You have to lose something.
It was arranged that we handed some districts to the opposition.
Why, Mr. President, have you...
Don't you think that is a ridiculous...
Why have you run for 5 terms? Why?
The issues of countries are issues of destiny, not mere appearance and theater. It's not theater. It is about...
So you needed 5 terms
It's about what should be done. To do what?
Yes. Tell me.
To start from 0 to where we are now. Start from 0, because we were at 0. We are now able to do things by ourselves.
Why in other democracies like the United States and Western Europe, why in those democracies we don't have one man ruling for 5 terms because he needs to do stuff?
That is because those countries have got a different history. But there are other countries. You talked about Israel. Let me give you the example of Israel. Israel is near you here. It is a democracy. Their leaders, what they do, since they created their state, they maximize their leadership resources, because leadership is also a resource. They have the old leaders, like the one who died recently, Shimon Peres. They have the young ones who came later, and they all compete.
Okay, why don't we have more than one leader in Uganda?
They all
Mr.
compete.
President, why don't we have more than one leader in Uganda?
Because
you have raised Uganda. You have been...
My party has been winning. Is that an offense to win elections?
No.
What are you worried about?
Yeah, but
suppose Shimon Peres had been winning in Israel.
Oh, it never happened in Western democracy.
Well, that's their problem because they don't.
So they have a problem.
They have a problem because they don't have enough consensus. If we have consensus,
Or maybe they have many leaders, more leaders.
even in Uganda we have many leaders. Even in Israel they had many leaders, but the parties made some mistakes and people voted against them. But if my party has not made serious mistakes, why should I commit suicide? Say I should kill myself because my party has not made a mistake, because my party led its people through liberation. It has made them through economic recovery.
Let's go back to the philosophy behind you deciding to run for term after term. Is that because you think you are the best to rule Uganda?
Because the issues to solve are serious, and it's the
And
best.
no other man can solve them.
It is the best that we know. Others come and present themselves. But when the population looks at them and says, no, this party.
They're not qualified.
Uh-huh.
They're not qualified.
Yes.
Okay.
According to the population, not according to me.
So what does this say about your leadership? You have been ruling this country for about 31 years and you couldn't raise other leaders to take over after you because
No,
you're not going to be here forever.
What
does it say about your leadership, about the educational system, or probably about the political system, that no other Ugandan has been elevated during your presidency to be equally capable of leading the country?
The other leaders are there, but to maximize the leadership input, we use all our leaders, the young ones, the old ones. Now
they want to come. They want to come forward, but they're not allowed. They're not allowed.
This is not about wanting. This is the whole problem. You're talking about wanting. I want. It's not you wanting. It is what the situation demands. You are trying to deal with the situation. You are not in a theater, just acting. So the leaders are there. We are a population of 40 million. We have got 130 districts. All those districts need leadership. The parliament needs leadership. The ministries need leadership. It's not.
So the country needs leadership.
Yes.
One man cannot rule the country forever.
Not forever, but according to the peoples, as long as you have got regular elections, then you don't have any point other than concentrating on the who rather than the what. For us, we concentrate on the what is to be done. And it is the what that gives us the who.
Mr. President, you said that the Ugandans, they don't see anybody else as qualified as yourself to rule the country. And now,
when they go for the elections,
after 5 terms, you are now 71 or 72, I don't know.
72.
In 3 years, you will reach the age limit, and you can't run for another term. Who is there in the country now, qualified, capable, sitting in the wings, waiting to be the next leader?
The people of Uganda are there. They will select who, according to the what. You remember, you spend all your time. I always watch you at Al Jazeera. Spend all your time on the who. You could spend a little bit more time on the what, because what changes things is what is done, what is to be done. So my people will decide on the who according to the what the problem they are facing, which needs to be solved.
According to some of the reports I read, you have demanded to be given the right to choose the next leader of Uganda, your own successor.
I cannot demand
That's
that
not true.
because it is the people are there.
Okay.
The people have been electing me in spite of Al Jazeera and...
Are you going to run for another term? The President will address that question and other topics as we continue our interview with President Museveni on the next episode of Talk to Al Jazeera. There are reports that you are about to change the constitution so that it can allow you to run for another term. In history, how can you guarantee that you will not be remembered as a dictator instead of a democratic president?